talk about Brexit, we talk about the presidential elections, the potential of a Trump presidency. How do you use behavioral economics to explain what we're seeing today?
Well, I'm not sure anyone can explain what's happening in the U.S. election, but I think there is a link between Brexit and the Trump phenomena, and that is people voting based on their gut rather than some rational economic calculation. According to any economist analysis, Brexit would be a catastrophe for the UK, and yet they're marching forward. And no one thinks Trump is qualified to be president, but the people who are supporting him are mad, and that's a way. That's a way of letting off steam.
Can you predict people's behavior using the theory? I mean, if you take a look at your mutual fund, for example, it outperformed 99% of its peers, and that's from using behavioral economics.
Yes, you can make predictions. So, for example, that fund, in a word, looks for companies that have had a bad period of performance and have gotten stereotyped as a bad company, and then there's good news about it that the market is ignoring. And so it's just like any other kind of stereotype. You can have good, solid information that the stereotype is wrong, but people still believe it. So yes, you can make predictions. Not sure we'll be in the 99th percentile every year, but
why not?
But why not? Right?
No, why are you hesitating to predict that you can win again your peers?
I mean, that's what we call overconfidence. So if you've had a very good period, we think that we can continue to outperform, but being in the top 1% requires some luck as well as skill.
You authored the book Nudge. When you use the nudging theory, who do you think has nudged people better, Trump or Clinton?
Oh, that's an interesting question. You know, Trump does appeal to people's emotions. Whether it's been successful is hard to say because he offends probably twice as many people as he appeals to. So, but his appeal is all at the gut emotional level, whereas Hillary is more appealing to our rational, calculating mind. So I think maybe whatever success he's had has been because of emotional appeals rather than rational appeals.
People say that the prospect of losing is much worse than the pleasure of winning. The pain is more when it comes to losing. How do you factor that into people's behavior? I mean, in the case of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Well, look, part of the explanation for the Trump phenomena, maybe the Brexit phenomena, is there's a portion of the population that feels like they're losing. They're falling behind. The middle class is pretty flat, and the top 1% is going up, so that's loss aversion, and that makes people mad, and so they want to change things, but they don't have a very good idea of how to do that, so they instinctively say, well, we're against whatever's going on now and we want something different.
Richard, just one final question before we go. Governments are increasingly acknowledging the need to have or to understand the behavioral economics theory. I mean, what's your sense? How widespread is it today?
Well, the first so-called nudge unit, the Behavioral Insight Team, was started in the UK when David Cameron came in office. There are now over 50 around the world, and one has been started in the World Bank, so it's catching up.
All right.